All right, y'all. So here we have the article, The Great Gift Debate. Now, with this article, you are going to be reading it. And as you're reading, I want a summary or a main idea for each section, no more than a sentence. All right. And so here is the article. Okay. It'll be available digitally or paper or pencil. Sometimes when I do these articles, it cuts off a little bit here. So if you pull this up digitally, you can definitely find it, but you can't highlight and interact with it the way I want you to do. So as you're reading, each one of these sections, there are 7, needs a quick little summary somewhere in the margins, somewhere next to it, one sentence, or just tell me what you think the main idea of the whole section is. Also, as you are reading, you're highlighting, right? You're going to be highlighting or underlining any details that show what the author believes about each type of gift. All right. This is not only going to help with the main ideas, but it's also going to help it when you go to answer part 1, because literally part 1 on the worksheet talks about the author's purpose and what the author believes. Okay. So then you can do it one of these 2 ways. You can answer the worksheet after you finish each section, or you can wait till the end to answer the worksheet. But you're going to identify the author. You're going to identify the author's position, so how they feel about that section, and then their purpose, their reasoning for writing that section. And then you're going to talk about the side of the debate the author is leaning towards. So which side are they leaning towards? Now, after you finish, also as you're reading, I do want you to try to write like a synonym, or you can write a longer meaning to each of the words that are bolded throughout. And so you'll see here, like stability is bolded, habituation is bolded. And so if you looked here, psychologists call, go back up. A well-known series of studies from Cornell University found that people tend to remember experiences more positively and for a longer period of time than objects. Psychologists call this the experience advantage. Physical items often lose their excitement as people get used to them, a process known as habituation. So as people are getting used to something, right, they are developing this thing known as habituation. So that's literally what I would say, right? I would say getting used to, getting used to, becoming accustomed to. That's how I would do it. So I'm trying to get you to be using these context clues on the worksheet. On the second page, it's going to ask you the definition of this anyway, but this way you've already looked in the text. Like, that's the whole point. You want to look at the sentence before. Sometimes you want to look at the sentence after, and then the sentence that includes the word to help you understand it, because there's going to be a clue somewhere, whether it be a synonym, an antonym, an example, an inference, to try to help you understand that word. So that's what I want you to do with the words. Now, here's what the worksheet that's coming next. Here's what the worksheet looks like. Okay, so author's position, how do they feel about it? What belief do they feel about gifts in that section? How does the section support the author's overall argument? And then which one is it talking about? Is it talking about stuff or experiences? So for example, the one that we were just looking at was talking about experiences with the habituation. All right. And then down here, you want a point of view statement. So after completing this chart, look back at your notes, ask yourself what belief is repeated across the sections. So look at, like, what does the author believe in each of these sections? And then how does the author show that their view is stronger or more convincing? So then that's right here. Okay. Then writing one sentence explaining the author's overall point of view about which gifts matter most. So I'd say this is probably about 3 sentences right here, which of course there's nowhere near enough space, but 1, 2, 3. Try to do your best. And then we have the vocabulary, which you'll see each of the words is used here. All right. Cool. So then turn this in or use it to help you, and then take the quiz. And the quiz you can either get through Wavio, or it is linked right here at the bottom. All right. So this is an article on the Great Gift Debate. All right, guys, thank you all for watching. And if you have any questions as you're working through this, please let me know. After you are done with the reading, so after you have, this is a way to look at this, but I need you to bring me your paper if you want to work with a partner. If you don't want to work with a partner, I don't need you to bring me your paper, but I need you to bring me your paper, and you need the summaries and the definitions of the words. That needs to happen before you work on the worksheet. So if you bring me that and I'm okay with it, then you can work with a partner. But I need the reading, the summaries, and the definitions done before the worksheet. Actually, I'm not even going to give you the worksheet until you've done that. I like that. I like that. As I'm working through the video, I came up with that. So beautiful. But if you bring me up and that's not done, then you can't work with a partner. You cannot work with a partner on the worksheet until after the first thing is done. You can also work with a partner on the quiz. Okay. But I need the actual reading passage done first before you do that. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye, everybody.